Hi guys, so my name is Terry David. Some of you all may know me from YouTube. I normally prepare students for the CSEC Maths and Sciences exams. But I've just been through the STA process with my daughter. She did extremely well. She got 97.3 in the 2023 STA Maths exam. So I'm providing these solutions for everybody there who needs help in SAA Maths, free of charge, right? Please feel free to share the solutions, right? So I'm going to be doing the solutions to the 2020 SAA Maths exam. So this question 1 here, complete the place value chart to represent the numeral 45,306. So 45,000, we just need to put a 4 here. 306, so we're going to put a 3 here and 6. That's it, right? Now this section 1 of the paper is usually very straightforward, right? And it's 1 mark per question, so there's no need to show any work in here, right? This next one here, question 2, write the whole number in the box which makes the statement true. Now this number plus whatever this number is has to be less than this here. So what we could do, we can say 3124 minus to the 100, right? So this is going to be 4, this is going to be 2, right? So you're going to get 24, right? Now the thing is, if I put 24 into this box here, it is going to mean that the left hand side of the inequality sign is going to be equal to the right hand side. So if you want, this sign here is a less than sign. So therefore, to make that statement true, right, to make that statement true, I need to use a number that is smaller than this here, right? So the number that I would put inside here is actually 23 instead to make the statement true. The next one here, we have expanded notation, and we want to write what this number represents, right? So in this case here, we have 3 by 100, so that's 300. Then we have 7 by 1, that's 7. And then we have 5 by 1/10, so that means we into the decimal point here now. So this is 0.5. So when I add up all of this here, right? Okay, this is expanded notation. This is expanded notation. We're going to get 307.5, right? So that's my answer there. Question 4, the total 5 bills below is $81. Write the missing value of the bill. Well, all we need to do, we need to add up the amount that we do have. So that's $50 plus we have a 20 there, right? We also have a 5 and we also have a 1. So we just need to add up this. So that's going to give me a total of $76. And we know that the total amount is $81. So all we need to do is to take 81, right? And we're going to minus 76, right? So therefore, if we borrow from here, this becomes 7 and this is 11. So therefore, it's a $5 bill that we're missing here, right? It's a $5 bill. Question 5, Paul picked 1,725 mangoes. Estimate the number he picked to the nearest 1,000, right? So you want to round this off to the nearest 1,000, right? Now remember, this here is ones, this is tens, this is hundreds, and this is thousands. So if you want to round this off to the nearest 1,000, right, we need to look at this value here. But the number right after, which is the 100 position, is 7. So that's greater than 5. So therefore, we need to round up here. So this is going to be 2,000 as my answer. Jamal baked cookies on a tray. He ate 2/15 of the cookies. How many cookies did he eat? So what I would do, I would add up how many cookies I have in total, right? And you can count all of them, or you can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 on top, and then vertically we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore the total number of cookies that we have there will be 6 by 5, right? You get 30. Now you could have counted all of them if you wanted to, that's fine as well. Now if you want to figure out how many cookies did he eat, all we need to do is to find 2/15 of the 30, right? Now this 15 will go into this 2 times, because 2 by 15 is 30. So therefore you're going to get a total of 4. So you only had 4 cookies, right? Next one, question 7. Ariana spent 2/3 of allowance and had $10 remaining. How much was her allowance, right? So she spent 2/3 of allowance and she had 1/10 remaining, right? So that means, right, if I were to draw a simple bar here, right, and let's break this up into thirds, right? Now if she spent, so she spent 2/3, right? So let's call this 1/3, let's call this 1/3, and let's call this 1/3 here, right? So the fractions we're dealing with is in thirds. Now she spent this amount, right? And this is how much she had remaining, right? But we know that figure. That figure there is $10. How much was the allowance? So if you know that 1/3 is equal to $10, right? That means that if I want to get a whole, so the whole, right, is simply going to be 3 multiplied by 10, right? And you're going to get $30, right? Drawing diagrams like these help when we have questions involving fractions. All right, so the next one here we have a subtraction, which is of a fraction. So we have 6 minus 4/7. Now, what we can do, we can say, we can write this as 5, right, plus 1 minus 4/7, right? Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to take one of my wholes here and I'm going to subtract 4/7, right? So if you're subtracting 4/7 from a whole, right, you're going to end up with 3/7. So the answer for this is 5 and 3/7, right? It's question 8. Question 9 here, we have distributive law. So in this case here, we have 16 multiplied by 11 is equal to 4 multiplied by 11, right, plus something in the box multiplied by 11, right? Now what we can do here, right, we can see that we can break up the 16 into 4 plus 12, right, multiplied by 11. Now when you are removing a bracket like this, right, what we essentially doing here, we're going to say 4 by 11, right? What we did, we took this and we multiplied by this, 4 by 11, right? And then because we have an addition sign here, we're going to put plus here, and then we have to take this 12 and multiply by this. So this is going to be 12 multiplied by 11, right? So if you compare what I have here with this, it means that the answer, or what needs to go in the box, has to be 12, right? Question 10, we want to arrange these things here in ascending order. So ascending order means from smallest to biggest, right? So we have options here. We have a percent, we have a fraction, and we have a decimal. So if I were you, what I will do, I could express this as a decimal. So this is 0.5. 3/4, you all should know this is 0.75. And 0.15, well, that's already a decimal. So we want to arrange it in ascending order. So the smallest value here will be the 0.15. So I'm going to write 0.15 first, right? The next number that's bigger is 50%, right? Because that is 0.5 here. And the largest one is 0.75. So therefore we put in 3/4 here, right? So you just need to find a common base to deal with. Either we work in fractions or decimals, right? Or percentages. It's up to you. All right. They want to know what is the time on this clock here. So, all right. So it doesn't seem like it's 11 o'clock as yet. So I would say this is 10 40, right? Because the longhand here is on 8, right? And that's 40 minutes, right? So I would say the time is 10:40. Question 12, what day of the week is November the 30th, right? So in this case here, we're only going up to the 26th on this calendar here. So you're going to go 27, 28, 29, and 30. So therefore that's a Tuesday, right? So this answer here is going to be a Tuesday. Right, this next one here, how many liters of juice did she drink? Right, she drank 5 boxes of orange juice. That's a lot. So all we need to do is to take 125, right, and you're multiplying that by 5, because that's 5 packs of juice there. So 5 5s are 25. So you're going to put the 5 here, right, carry the 2 across. 2 by 5 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12. Right, so you put the 2 here, put the 1 here. 1 5 is 5 and 1 6. So that's 625, but that is in milliliters, right? Am I checking that correct? Oh wait, sorry, I made a mistake here. 5 5s are 25, 2 5s are 10 and 2 12. 6. Oh, my bad. So it's 125 mils, right? It's 125 mils, not sorry, it's 250 mils, not 125, right? I misread it, so let me fix that. Right, so it's really 250 multiplied by 5, right? So 0 by 5 is 0, 5 5s are 25. So you put a 5 here, and you put a 2 here, 2 5s are 10, and 2 is 12, right? So that's 1250 milliliters. Now 1 liter, right, is equal to 1,000 milliliters, right? So if we have 1250, right, so 1250 will be 1 liter, right, and you still have a 250 remaining. So you can say 1 liter, right? Now they want to answer in liters, right? So what I will do, the best thing we should do here is divide this, take the 1250, right, and divide by 1000, and what we're going to get is 1.25 liters, right? Because they said they want to answer in liters here. So you can say 1.25 or you can say 1.25 liters. We have a shape on a grid here, and we want to calculate the perimeter of the shape here, right? You're on a 1 cm grid, so all we need to do is to basically start from one end and start counting. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 18 19 20 21 22 23 24, right? So the perimeter is going to be 24 cm, right? So that's my perimeter here. Next one here, we have a rectangle and we want to know which side is parallel to AD, right? So AD is this side here, right? That's AD. Now when they say parallel, we're looking for a line that is on this side here, right? Parallel lines, if you extend them, they will never meet, right? So the answer is simply going to be BC. Draw the line of symmetry, right? Well, the only line of symmetry we have is this line going down here, right? Think of line of symmetry as if I fold my page along that line, the left hand part and the right hand part, they're going to line up exactly, right? So that's 16. Peter was standing facing south, so he's here, right? How many quarter turns did he turn clockwise? So clockwise means he going this way. How many he turned clockwise and is now facing east, so that means that he did this, came quite across here, right? So therefore that is going to be, this is a quarter here, this is a quarter turn here, and this is a quarter turn here. So how many quarter turns did he make? He made 3 quarter turns, so the answer is going to be 3 quarter turns, right? Question 18, which shoe size represents our mode, right? Now the mode is the one that occurs most frequently, right? So when we say most frequently, we're looking for the number that appears most. So this shoe size here, we have 4 appearing 5 times, right? So the answer is going to be 4. The mode is actually 4. Question 19, Suan scored the runs shown below during a cricket tournament. What is a mean score? Right, so mean, right, is equal to your sum over your number of numbers that you have. So in this case here, all we need to do, we need to add up 24 plus 122 plus, well, we're not adding 0, they're not going to do anything. Right, so that's 8 and 2, 10 and 4 is 14. 7 and 2, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, and this is 224. That's the sum of all of these the runs here. So this is 224. And then we have to divide by the number of, in this case, it would have been matches, I guess. Now, please remember, even though this is 0, you have to count it as a match. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you must divide it by 4, right? So in this case here, when I divide this, right, that 4 can go into 22 5 times. Remainder 2, so we have 24, so this is going to be 6, right? So our mean here will be 56 runs, right? So that's question 19. Question 20, incomplete tally chart. What is missing here? Well, we just need to write the tally for 6. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it, right? That's all we need to do here. So that takes care of your section 1 of this exam paper, right? In section 2 now, we have 12 over 22. I'm trying to multiply that by 11 over 15, right? So 11 can go into this 1 time, 11 can go into this 2 times, right? Then what else we have now? We can say that 2 can go into this 6 times, and we can still go again. 3 can go into this 2 times, and 3 can go into this 5 times. So therefore, you're going to get 2 over 5 as your answer, right? So because you ask for your answer in the lowest form. All right, so we have a number sentence here, right? So 6 and 1/8, so this is going to be 6 and 1/8 is equal to 12 minus something, right? 12 minus something here. So if you want to get that box there, right, it means that all we need to do is to take 12, right? Oh, but yeah, we want to get a box, right? Yeah, 12, and we need to subtract 6 and 1/8, right? That's what we need to do. So what I could do, right? Right. So 12 take away 6 will give me 6, right? But then you still have to take away 1/8 from that, right? So you still have to remove 1/8 from this, right? So 6 minus 1/8 will give me 5 and 7/8. Okay, so that's the answer for 22. Next one here now, we have Angie, Keisha, and Chen. They're sharing 125 stickers among themselves. Keisha and Chen received equal numbers, and Angie received 1 less sticker. So what I would do, I would write K for Keisha, C for Chen, and Angie, right? So those are my people here, right? Now they said that Keisha and Chen, they received the same amount, right? So if I were to use a box here to represent Keisha, right? So Keisha and Chen, they should receive the same amount, right? But then they come on to tell me that Angie received 1 less. So therefore, she would have received box minus 1. Now, generally speaking, I wouldn't like to use or try to solve this using a minus 1, right? Now, I'm going to make a slight adjustment here, right? Now, in terms of amount, it means that Keisha, right, would have received one more, right? One more than, so let's put a 1 here. One more than Angie, right? And Chen would have had the same thing as well, right? This piece plus 1 here, right? Because both of them have identical amounts, right? And then what happened here now, Angie would have just received a box, right? So try to understand what's happening here. Angie received that one box, Chen received one more than that, and Keisha received one more than what Angie had as well, right? Now when you add up all of this here, you should get 125 stickers, right? So what we can do, you can, this one here and this one here, we can remove that excess from the 125. So 125 minus 1, sorry, minus 2, right? So you're removing those 2 from the 125, right? And you're going to get 123, right? Now, to get one box now, all we need to do is to take 123 and you're going to divide that by 3, right? So this is going to be 4 3s are 12, right? And 1 here, 1 3 is 3. So therefore, each one of these boxes here, right, actually represents 41. So they want to know how much did Keisha receive, right? So these questions, you have to read it over again, even though you work out the box. So Keisha, remember Keisha is this one here. So she received box plus 1. So therefore, Keisha should have received 41 plus 1. So you're going to get 42. You have to be careful with questions like this. Always reread those questions, right? So next one here, question 24. We want the sum of the sum of the 5 smallest prime numbers. So a prime number is a number that is divisible by 1 and itself. So the first prime number, right, we should have 2, right? 2 is the first prime number. Then after that, we have 3. Then we have 5. Then we have 7. And then the next one is going to be 11, right? Now you can add this up in your head if you want. Okay, so this is 11 plus 7 is 17. 17 plus 5 is 22. 22 plus 3 is 25. Am I checking that correct? 18. Oh, sorry. 7 plus 11, right, is 18. 18 plus 5 is 23. 23 plus this 3 here will give me 26. Plus 2, so this is going to give you a total of 28, right? That's the answer there. Right, on a grid below, we have some squares shaded. How many more squares must be shaded for 60% of the grid to be shaded? Now, what we should do is to look at the grid to figure out how many squares we have in total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that's 5 that way. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. So therefore, you have a total of 25 squares, right? 25 squares. Now, you want to shade 60%. So therefore, 60% is 60 over 100 multiplied by 25 over 1, right? Now, 60 over 100, right? You all should know that that is also 3/5. So that's 3/5 multiplied by 25 over 1. This 5 will go into this 5 times, and you'll get a total of 18, right? So 18 squares should be shaded, right? They want to know how many, sorry, that's why am I saying 18? It's 15. 3 5s are 15. Right? 3 5s are 15, right? So 15 squares needs to be shaded. Now, if you look here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, you need to shade 10 more squares, right? So the answer should be 10 squares, right? So 3 by 5, 50. So that's 25. Question 26. Gregory spent 1/3 of his allowance and loaned half of the remainder to his friend. He now has $20 remaining. How much did Greg have at first, right? Now, with these questions, the best thing to do is to draw a simple diagram. That's the best thing to do with these questions, right? So he spent 1/3 of his allowance. So we could draw a simple diagram like this. All right, we have a box to represent our whole allowance, right? And they start talking about a third here. So what we can do is to break this up into 3 parts, right? So therefore, this is a third, this is a third, and this here is also a third, right? So he spent 1/3 of his allowance, so therefore this is gone, right? This is how much he spent. Right? Now, that means that 2/3 of his allowance, right, is what he has left. Now, half of that is given to his friend. So therefore, we can say this piece here, that went to his friend. Right? He now has $20 remaining. So therefore, this is the remaining amount here. Right? And this is $20. Right? How much did Gregory have at first? Well, that is easy. Because what we know that one box is equal to $20. I have 3 boxes in total. So his allowance, right? So the allowance should be, all we need to do is take 20 and multiply by 3. So you're going to get 60. Right? So that's the allowance at the start. So that's 26. Question 27. Insert the possible values of the missing digits here. Right? Now, let's see what we can do here. So you want to get, we added, right? So that's the operation we added. So the only way you can get an 8 here, it means that this has to be a 0, right? Now, we have a 2 and a 1, so this is okay. 2 plus 1 will give me 3. Now, you want to get a 5 here, right? You want to get a 5 there. So there are multiple ways you can get that. Since this is a 4, you know that you must have carried a 1 here. So these 2 boxes, when you add them, right, you should get 15. So we're looking for any 2 numbers that will give us 15. That's what we're looking for, right? So we can go with maybe 9 and 6 if you want. So we can go 6 or 9, or you can go 9 or 6, right? That's 2 possible options, right? We can also go 7 and 8, or 8 by 7. So I have different possibilities here, right? So if I put a 6 here or 9 here, I'll get the answer, right? They said possible values, so there are more than one answers for this particular question. Right, Andrea needs to pay 2 sums of money, $75 and $54. She can use any number of each of the bills to pay the exact amounts, right? Which of the 2 sums of money can be paid using fewer number of bills? Right? And explain your answer. So in this case here, right, let's say we want to pay the $75, right? And we're looking for the least number of bills here that we can use. So let's start with the biggest bill that we have, which is a $50. So you can use one $50, right? So one $50 bill, right? We can put a 20 inside there, so one $20 bill. So we up to $70 now. So we need our $5. Do we have a $5? Yeah, we do. So in this case here, we have 3 bills, right? So you have a total of 3 bills here. In the case of the $54, right? What can we start with? We can start with the 50 again. So one $50 bill, right? And you want to get $4. So the only way you're going to get $4 is by using 4 of these. So you need 4 bills here. You need $4 bills in order to make that happen. So therefore, the total number of bills for that scenario is going to be 5. So therefore, the answer is going to be this one here, the $75, right? So you can only, with the $75, all we need is 3 bills to make that happen. So that's 28, right? Now, each week, Imran reads 3 books and Shiva reads 2 more books than Imran. So with questions like these, try to write it out like this. Imran reads 3 books and Shiva reads 2 more books. If he reads 2 more, it's going to be 3 plus 2. So that means he's reading 5 books, right? They read 96 books all together during the same number of weeks, right? How many weeks did they read? Okay. So all we need to do for this here, the total number of books here that is read each week will be 5 plus 3. So you're reading 8 books in total, right? So to figure out how many weeks they read for, all you need to do is to take 96 and you're going to divide by 8, right? 96 divided by, 96, right? And that's going to give me 12, right? That's going to give me 12. So it's going to take them 12 weeks to read that amount of books. So that's 29. Question 30. 20% of Kyra's savings is equal to 10% of Selena's savings. What fraction of their total savings belong to Kyra? Right? So for a question like this, the best thing I would do here is, again, I'm going to write out, I'm going to draw a simple diagram, right? 20% of Kyra's savings is equal to 10%. Okay. So Kyra, right? Now, if we deal in 20%, right? 20%. So what I would do, I would break up Kyra's savings into 5 equal parts, right? Where each one of them is 20%. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 20, 20. This is percentage, by the way. Right? So that's Kyra's savings, right? Now 20% of her savings is equal to 10% of, so this is Selena's now, right? Now 20% is equal to 10% of her savings. So therefore, this here, right, is actually equal to 10% of Selena's savings, right? So therefore, if we continue along this trend here, right, this is going to be at 10%, right, 10%, and so we keep going, right? Right, so I'm now at 50%. So we need to draw 5 more blocks here in order to make this make sense, right? So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, and 10%, right? Now, what is the total fraction? What fraction of their total savings belongs to Kyra, right? Now, so Kyra, if you look at this here, right, you realize that, let me see what's happening here. Yeah, so if you want to work out Kyra's fraction, right, what fraction of their total savings? So if you look at how many boxes we have here, because each of these boxes actually have the same size, right? So Kyra's savings, she has a total of 5 boxes. We check here, she has 5 boxes, right? But the total number of boxes will be 5 plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's going to be 5 over 15, which is actually 3/5, right? So that's the fraction that they're looking for here. That's the total fraction that belongs to Kyra, right? All right, question 31. Deborah fell asleep at 9:30 and she slept for 4 hours and 45 minutes. What time she wake up? So 9:30, and this is PM, right? So we should write this down. And you go in with 4 hours and 45 minutes. 4:45. Now, when you're dealing with minutes, 30 plus 40, right? That's 437. That's 75 minutes, right? But we need to figure out how many hours we have in there. So 1 hour is 60, right? So therefore you have a remainder of 15 minutes. So we're going to put 15 here, right? And you carry across that 1 hour. 60 minutes is 1 hour. So that's 9, 10, right? So that's 14, right? So the thing is, you have to pay attention to this. This is PM here, right? So if it's 9:30 PM, right, and you are adding, that's 9, 10, and 4 is 14. So that means 9, 10, 11, 12. So 3 hours will take you till 12 o'clock, right? 3 hours will take you till 12 o'clock. But you have, 1 second. Yeah, so what we can do, right? 9 and 10, that's 14, right? But this is 14. What has happened here is that you've gone into the AM period now, right? So this here is actually, right? So you have 12 midnight, but you're checking 2 hours after that. So this is going to be 2:15 AM, right? So you have to be careful when you have a transition at midnight or even at lunchtime too, but you need to pay attention to this here. So this here is actually 2:15 AM. That's how you're interpreting this here, this time, right? So that's 31. Question 32, all right? The compound shape below is made up of a square and a rectangle. The length of the rectangle is 3 times the width. So here is going to be 4. Here's 4 cm, right? The length of the rectangle, so that's from here to here, right? It's 3 times, so that's 12 cm, right? Calculate the area of the compound shape. So this is going to be 4 cm here, right? Now they want the area, so all you need to do is to take this number, right, and multiply by 16, right? Because the entire shape, right, is a bigger rectangle, right? So all you need to do is to take 16 cm multiplied by 4. So 6 4s are 24, right? 1 4 is 4 and 2 is 6, so that's 64 cm squared, right? So that's the area of this compound shape here. Question 33. Tom's 2 suitcases had a mass of 13.05 kilograms and 29 kg 600 grams. Total mass allowed was 41.5 kg. By how many kilograms were Tom's suitcases over the mass allowed? So the first thing I would do, I will try to add up those two numbers, right? And because you have kg here and you have kg and grams here, I'll work the entire question, right? I would work the entire question in grams. So this here, if I want to convert that into grams, I just need to multiply by 1,000. So this is going to be 13,050, right? That's grams, right? And you're going to add that now to this here. So 29 kg, right? That's 29,000, right? So this is going to be 29,600 grams. So I'm working in grams. So when I add this now, you're going to get 0. This is going to be 5. This is 6. 9 and 3 is 12. 2, 3, 4, right? So this here is in grams. Now, the next thing they want here now, they want to know, now the total allowed mass is 41.5. So that is, again, you're going to multiply this by 1,000. So that's this. And now we're going to subtract, well, actually, no, hold on. We actually overweight here. So we're going to take Tom's weight of his 2 suitcases. So that's 42650 grams minus the 41,500 grams, right? So 0 minus 0, 0, 5, 6 take away 5 is 1, 2 take away 1 is 1, right? So this is how much he is overweight by, right? But the thing is, the question says how many kilograms. So what I will do, I'll have to convert this into kilograms by dividing by 1,000. Divide this by 1,000, right? And you're going to get 1.15 kg, right? So you have to always go back and read these questions because you're not sure if the answer needs to be in grams or kilograms. So you have to pay attention to that. That's 33. Question 34. Alan had a wooden block in the shape of a cuboid, right? The block is measured 20 by 15 by 6, and he cut out a small cuboid 20 by 3 by 4. What is the volume of the remaining block? So in a question like this, what you need to do is to find the volume of the original block, right? That's this block we're talking about here, right? Assuming nothing was removed from it. So to do that, you will take this number, multiply by this, because volume is length by width by height or length by breadth by height, right? So in this case, we're going to take, it's going to be 20 multiplied by 15 multiplied by 6, right? We need to work out that volume first. So what we can do, we can say, let's say 20 by 6 is 120. So you can take 120 and multiply by 15. So 0 5s are 0, 2 5s are 10, 1 5 is 5 and 1 6, right? Then we have to add, so put a 0 here, 0 by 1 is 0, 2 by 1 is 2, 1. So this is going to be 1800 cm cube, right? So that's the original volume of this thing here, 1800 cm cube, right? Then what we need to do, we need to find the volume of this cuboid here, right? So that volume there is going to be, again, 20 by 3 by 4, right? 20, so 3 4s are 12. 12 by 20 is 240 cm cube, right? So that's the volume of that piece that you remove. So if you want to get that, the actual volume of the remaining block, right, we have to subtract those two numbers. So that's simply going to be 1800 minus 240, right? So we need to do some borrowing here. So this is 7, this is 10, this becomes 9. Sorry, I don't even need to go that far. Right, we just need to borrow there. So 0 minus 0 is 0, 10 minus 4 is 6, 7 minus 2 is 5. So this is going to be 1560 cm cube, right? So that's my volume of my remaining block. That's what I want, right? Question 35. So we have some triangles and we want to describe this pattern rule, right? Now, if you notice something here, all of these triangles to begin with, they are all right angle triangles, right? Now, let's see what's happening to the height and what's happening to the width. The base, sorry. So the base of this triangle here is 2 units. This one here is 4. And this one here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So basically, we keep increasing by 2. So the base increases length by 2 units, right, as you move from one pattern to the next. Then in terms of the height now, we need to see what's happening to the height. So you had this height here is 3 units, and then we go what? We go in 6, and then we go 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So again, we keep increasing, but this time here you increasing by 3 units. So this one here increases right. So anything along those lines here, a statement along those lines, right? So that's 35. Question 36. What we have here now, a rhombus, right, is folded, right? A rhombus is folded along a line of symmetry to form 2 identical plane shapes. State 2 properties of the plane shape form. All right, so a rhombus, right, it's a quadrilateral, meaning it's a 4-sided figure, right? But with the rhombus, all the sides are identical lengths. So this length is the same as this, which is the same as this, same as this, right? So this is what we call a rhombus, right? Now the thing is, they said that we fold in this thing along its line of symmetry, right? So let's say we fold it along this line here. What's going to happen is that this here is going to be a triangle, right? But because we have 2 sides equal, right, it's an isosceles triangle, right? So the triangle that we get in here is an isosceles triangle, right? So they want now basically 2 properties of this isosceles triangle, right? So all we're going to say for this one here, we're going to say 2 sides are equal, right? 2 sides are equal, that's one property. And we can also say 2 angles are equal. Right? So that's all we need to say for that one here. Question 37. Complete the shape using the line of symmetry. Well, to complete this, all we need to do is this. Come down here. Come here. Right? So that's the shape that we want to complete. Now they ask us how many lines of symmetry, right? How many lines of symmetry are there any new shape, right? So basically we have this existing one, this is one line of symmetry, and we can also, can we do a diagonal? Right, so how many lines of symmetry are there in a new shape? So we already have the line AB. We can also have a line of symmetry going down here. Right, so that's two lines of symmetry. Can we get anything diagonal? I think we can. We go this way. Right, if I fold that, yeah, it looks like it could fold along that line there. And if I go this way as well, right, so I'm seeing potentially 4 lines of symmetry. Right, that's what I'm seeing here. Alright, question 3. The mean of 6 numbers is 7. Alright, and a number was added and the new mean is 9. What number was added? So, you know the mean is 6 and the mean of 6 numbers is 7. So the mean is 7, right? So therefore, if you want to find the sum of those 6 numbers, all you need to do is to say 6 multiplied by 7. That's how you're going to get the sum here. So that's 7 6s are 42. So that's your sum, right? So that is when I have a mean of 7, right? And the number of numbers that we have there is 6, right? Now we have a new thing happening here now. Another number is added and the new mean is 9, right? So therefore, in terms of numbers, you had 6 originally, right? And then you're adding a new number. So therefore, you now have 7 numbers, right? And your new mean, so the mean now is equal to 9. So therefore your new sum, so this is your new mean, right? The new sum now, all we need to do is to say 9 multiplied by 7. 9 7s are 63. So what we can do, we can use this here, the new sum, right, and the previous sum in order to figure out the number that was added. So the number that was added is simply going to be 63 minus 42, right? 3 take away 2 is 1, and 6 take away 4 is 2, right? So therefore, the number that was added would have been 21. 21 is the number that was added, right? So that's 38. 39, what do we have here? Table shows Vishal scores in 4 of the 5 subjects of which he wrote tests. The mean score of the 5 subjects is 68. What is Vishal's score in social studies? So the mean score of the 5 subjects is 68, so we can work out the sum, right? You can use that to work out the sum. All you need to do is to take 68, right, as the mean, multiplied by the 5 subjects. So that's 8 5s are 40. 6 5s are 30 plus 4, so that's 340. So that's the total, right? So when you add up all the scores, you should get 340. Now, in terms of what they're telling us here, we have 72 for maths. Spelling is 14 less. So we need to take 72 minus 14, right? We need to borrow. This is 6, this is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 6 take away 1 is 5. So therefore, his spelling mark is 58, right? That's his spelling mark here. Then, well, this is 70, right? And then science is 5 more than creative writing, so therefore this is going to be 75. So all we need to do, when we add up all of this, we're going to get 340, right? So therefore, let's add up these. So that's 72 plus 58 plus 70 plus 75. So that's 8 and 2, 10 and 5 is 15. That's 7 and 1 is 8. 8 and 2, 10 and 3 is 13. 13 plus 7 is 20. So this is 275, right? So that's the sum of math, spelling, creative writing, and science. So all we need to do to get social studies is to take 340 minus 275. Right? We borrow 1 from here. You get 2. This is 14 now. We need to borrow from this. So this is 13 and this is 10. So 10 take away 5 is 5. Right? 13 minus 7 is going to give me 6. 2 minus 2 is 0. Right? So therefore his social studies mark here is going to be 65. That's the social studies mark, right? Question 40. We have a bar chart and it shows the number of days students were absent in the term, right? So we have Dale, Carl, Ravi, and Talia. Calculate the difference between the mean, so you need to figure out the mean, and the mode, right? So the mean, we need to add up the number of absences for each one of them. So this one is 6, this is 2, this is 10, and this is 2. So this is 6 plus 2 plus 10 plus our next 2. So that's 6 and 2, 8, and 2 is 10. So that's 20, right? So that's the total number of absences, but we have 4 of them. So the mean is going to be 20 over 4, and that's going to give you a 5, right? So that's the mean. The mode now, right, is the one that had the highest number of days absent, right? So the mode in this case here, right, is going to be, now some students going to say the answer is 10, right? But the mode is the one that occurs most frequently here. So if you look at this, Carl was absent 2 days and Talia was also absent 2 days. So you have to be careful with this because some students might put 10 as the answer. So in this case here, the mode is actually 2. So therefore the difference that they're talking about here, right, is going to be 5 minus 2, which is going to be 3 days, right? So that's a tricky question, eh? Right? And this is the last section of the paper now. Question 41, right? Identical counters are used to form patterns of the sequence. The first 4 patterns are shown. Determine the number of counters that will form the 5th pattern in the sequence, right? So what I would do in a scenario like this, are they asking me to draw it? Oh, they want us to draw it, right? So what I will do, I will draw it to begin with, right? So we have this, then we have 1, 2, 3, right? Then we went 1, 2, 3. So we keep adding 2 more, right? So therefore, in this last row here, we have, right? So you notice you keep adding 2 more when you put an extra row at the bottom. So therefore, the last one will be, right? And we need to put 2 more, right? So they want the total number of counters. So all we need to do is just count this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 25, right? I'm getting 25, right? So you all could double check that, but I'm getting 25 when I add up all of these here. So what you notice is that when you jump from one pattern to the next, you're adding 2 of these. When I jump from here to here, you're adding a row, but the row is 2 times longer, right? Not 2 times, sorry. 2 more counters longer than the previous one. So when I jump from here to here, same thing again. You added a row at the bottom, but it is 2 counters more, right? So it's 25. And well, for this one here, they asked us to draw it. Well, I already drew it here, right? Now, Malika said that the number of counters in each pattern is composite. Explain why she's incorrect. So the number of counters in each pattern. So we had 1 counter, then we had 1 in the first figure, then we had 4 in the next one here, and then in the next one we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Then in the next one we have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 16, and then we have 25 is what we got before. Now if you look at these numbers here, you realize that each of them are square numbers, right? Each of them are square numbers, right? That's all right, on the wrong slide here. Okay, so like I'm saying, all of these numbers here, to begin with, all of them are square numbers, right? All are square numbers. Right? Now, a composite number, right, has one other factor besides 1, right? Besides itself and 1, sorry. So in this case here, the 25, I'll put this in a different color here for you. So the 25, right, we have 1, we have 5, and we have 25. All of these are factors of 25. So therefore, this is a composite number. For this one here, 16, 1 can go into it, 2 can go into it, 4 can go into it, right? Four can go into it, 2 can go into it, 8 can go into it as well, and 16 can go into it. So therefore, this is definitely a composite number, right? So you need to have at least one factor besides 1 and itself. In the case of 9, right, we have 1, we have 3, and we have 9. So again, this is a composite number. For this one here, we have 1, 2, and 4. So therefore, it's a composite number as well. So 9, 4, 16, and 25, they are all composite numbers. However, when we reach here, this is not a composite number, right? Because the only factor we have in this case here is 1, right? So therefore, 1 is not a composite number, right? So therefore, she is incorrect in terms of what she said, right? She said they want to know why she's incorrect, because 1 is not a composite number. All right. So question 42 now. There were 450 spectators at a cricket match. Of these, 1/5 were adults, as men and women, and the others were children, right? Boys and girls. There are twice as many boys as girls, and the number of men is equal to half the number of girls. How many women were there at the cricket match? Right, so what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do, we need to work out, we can work out the number of adults, right? So adults, all right, they said is 1/5 were adults. So we're going to take 1/5 and multiply by 450 for 1. 5 can go into 45, 9, so therefore there are 90 adults, right? So that includes men and women. What else? So the others were children, right? So therefore, children, right? That'll be 450 minus 90, right? So borrow from this here. This is 3, and this becomes 15. So this is 6. So we have a total of 360 children, right? Now they come and they tell us that there were twice as many boys as girls. So therefore, boys, girls, so twice as many boys as girls. So if this represents girls, right, boys will be twice as large, right? That's boys there. So this here, the total number of boys and girls is 360. That's the children. So therefore, you can figure out what each one of these boxes represent. So one box is simply going to be 360 divided by 3. So you're going to get 120, right? So that's the number of girls we actually have here, because the girls are represented by one box. So that's 120. All right, now the number of men is equal to half the number of girls. So we worked out the number of girls here. So the number of men, right, is going to be a half multiplied by number of girls, which is 120, right? So half of that is going to give us 60. So therefore, we have 60 men. They want to know how many women we had at the cricket match, right? But remember, the total number of adults was 90. So if you know you have 60 men, right, the number of women is simply going to be 90 minus 60. So you're going to get 30, right? So you're going to get 30. So that's the answer for that one. Question 43 now. What volume of the box remains to be filled with cubes? So we have some cubes here. Each of them have a side of 2 cm, right? So right now we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you actually have 10 cubes initially here, right? Now we want to fill the box. So therefore, let's see how many cubes we need in total, right? So if we go this way, right, you're going to need 3 cubes, right? When you go this way, you're going to need 4 cubes, right? And when you go this way, you're going to need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes, right? So therefore, the total number of cubes needed to fill the box will be 4 by 3, 12. 12 by 5 is 60. So you need 60 cubes in total to fill the box, but you already have 10. So all we need to do is to take 60 minus 10. So you need 50 more cubes in order to fill this thing, right? Right. Right. So you need 50 cubes in order to fill this thing here, right? But that's not what it asks, right? That's not what it asks. So give me 1 sec. That's when you're accustomed to doing a particular type of question, right? They want to know what is the volume of the oh, but wait, I just realized something here. I need 50 cubes to fill the box. So actually I can use what I've been using there. So 1 cube, right? 1 cube has an edge of 2 cm, right? So therefore, the volume of one of those small cubes here, right? The volume of one of those small cubes will be 2 by 2 by 2, right? That's 2 2s are 4 2s are 8, so that's 8 cm cube, right? So, so even though I was working out the number of cubes that needed to fill, right? I can use that information to find the volume of the box that remains to be filled, right? So all I need to do actually is just take the 50 and multiply by 8, right? 8 5s are 40, and you're going to get 400 cm cube, right? So even though I didn't read the question properly, you worked out the number of cubes that had to be filled. That's 50. You know the volume of 1 cube, it's 8, so there's 50 by 8, right? So that's question 43, right? Question 44, right? Question 44. We have a solid building block shown, has uniform cross-section, 2 identical cutouts, blah, 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 blah. Right, so they want to know how many edges and how many vertices. So edges, right? So if you start counting your edges, if you start from the top here, we have 1, we have 2, right? We have 3 here, we have 4 here, right? We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So you have 12 on top, right? So therefore you're going to have 12 at the bottom. So you have 12 on top plus 12 at the bottom, and then you have to remember these edges here as well. 1, 2, 3, and there's one behind there, right? Am I missing anything else? Right? Yes, I am missing something else. On the inside here, we also have an edge as well, right? So that is 4 and 4, 8, and so we have our next 12, right? We have our next 12 there. So that is going to give us 36 edges. Now just remember, an edge is where two faces meet, right? Where two faces meet. So that's 36. Number of vertices now, right? So this is a vertex, this is the vertex, right? This, right? Here as well. So that is 4 and 4, 8, and 4, 12. And then we're going to have 12 at the bottom, right? So you have a total of 24 vertices, right? So the answers will be 36 and 24. And then the last part, draw a cross section along its base. So that's going to be easy as well. Right? So that's the cross section you're talking about here. And the last question here now. 3 groups are made using the numbers 1 to 9. Group 1 has the same mode as group 3. Group 2 has the same mean as group 3. Group 2 has the same mean. Alright, the modal value occurs at least 3 times in group 3. Right? Write the missing numbers in the circles in group 3 to show one possible solution. Right? So how are we going to do this? Let's read what they said here. Group 1 has the same mode as group 3. So when you look at group 1, you realize I have a 4 here and I have a 4 here. So this is what we know about group 3. The mode for group 3 has to be that same mode. So that has to be 4, right? So that is what this information is giving me here. Group 2 has the same mean as group 3. Group 2, so there's a group 2 here, has the same mean as group 3. So what I could do, I can work out what is the mean of group 2. So that is going to be 5 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6 plus 1. So that's 10 and 8, 18, 24, that's 25, right? That's the sum of everything in group 2. But then to get the mean, so the mean in group 2 is going to be 25 over 5 numbers you have there. So the mean is 5, right? So that means the mean for group 3 also has to be 5, right? The modal value, right? The modal value occurs at least 3 times. Now remember, this is the mode here, so it's occurring at least 3 times. So you know, so let's put in, there should be a 4 here, a 4 here, and 4 here. It said at least 3, sorry, at least 3 times. So we can put it 3 times here or more if we want. We want to show one possible solution. So we've already indicated what the mean is. In this case, it's 4, right? So what we can do now, we can find what is the sum of everybody in group 3. So that'll be, take our mean. So you're going to take the 5, that's the mean, and multiply by, if you notice in group 3, you have 6 numbers this time. So this is going to be 6 by 5, so this is going to be 30. You have 30 as your total, right? Now, when I add up, I have 4, 4, 4, and 9. So that's 4 3s are 12 and 9. So check this. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 9. Right? So that is going to give me 21. Right? So that's 21. So the sum of all the numbers in group 3 should give me 21. So all I need to do now, what numbers are we using? 0, 1 to 9. Right? So if we have 21 as our sum, and you know that the sum should have been 30, it means that you're missing 9. So whatever this number is here and this number is here, they need to add up to 9, right? So you have different possibilities there, right? So in this case here, we could probably put, you can put 8 and 1 if you want. So you can put 8 and 1. So basically, you have multiple answers, right? Anything that adds up to 9, that is going to work, right? So that's my answer for question 45. All right. So guys, these are the solutions for the 2020 SEA Maths exam, right? If you see any errors, just let me know, right? Like I said, I'm doing this to just help you guys out. Not everybody can afford to go to expensive classes, right? So I hope the video did help you guys. All right. Take care, guys.